What is going on, everybody? My name is Polar, and I am here to just give you guys some tips on defense in Madden 18. Now, mostly this is for my the league that I play in. A lot of the guys were a little bit unsure of a lot of the things that work into defense this year. So I wanted to, go through and show them all the stuff that could be affecting their games that they might not know about. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the weak box feature, which is huge, because I know some people definitely don't know about it. So we're going to go into wing tight, which is a formation. It's a 3 tight end formation. Halfback inside zone is a good play to call. Makes sense. Then we're going to go into dollar, right? So I'm going to call dollar. I'll call cover 4 because it's a good. Cover 4 is a good run defense, okay? So, 3 tight ends versus dollar, and here's what's going to happen. Okay, it didn't happen. That's weird. Should be pancakes across the board, but let's try that. Baseline, spread maybe. Okay, let's give cushion. That might be it. Okay, cool. So that's what a normal dollar defense will line up as. That's what it should look like. And then you see that, and you get pancakes. And you get great run blocking. So what that is, that's the weak box feature coming in. So if I do that again, right? Back everyone up, baseline, back everyone up. Okay, so this is, kind of what a weak box will look like. You're going to get, should get pancake blocks. And for whatever reason, it's not working. But what it should look like is, I'll do this. That's what it'll look like. That's what you should see on a regular basis. So how you fix this from the defensive point of view is you call a base defense. You can call 3-4, 4-4, 4-6, or 5-2. 5-2 will also count. Most people don't use 5-2, but it will also count. So if I go to 3-4, 3-4 odd, and we go into the same play, right? Box is much tighter, and you get a hat and a hat, and that's how it works out. So against big formations like this, you don't want to be calling stuff like, nickel, you can kind of get away with. I wouldn't call nickel. You want to be calling nickel, dime, quarter, dollar. Any of that stuff is not something you want to be calling. Because it leaves you vulnerable to the run game. And that occurs on any formation where there's either 2 tight ends or 2 running backs. So it'll occur on wing slot. It'll also occur on formations like, if I can find one, wing slot offset. 2 tight ends, a running back, you'll still get that weak box feature. So let's do that. Do this, come back like that, and it should just work. It didn't, but it should. And either way, you leave yourself open to the run anyway. Sometimes it's a little bit funky. Let's see. Did we get it? We got it that time. Okay, cool. So that's what it'll look like, and it'll come out of shotgun. You can do it out of pistol. Any formation where there are 2 tight ends, you really don't want to be lining up in anything but 3-4, 4-4, 4-4, 4-3, 4-6, 5-2. Those are your 5 options, and you need to do that for every single one of them. The next thing that I would point out is that people don't necessarily know how to change their defenses. So here, let's look. Let's show you, if I can show you my defense. There we go. So I'm in cover 2 man, right? Cover 2 man is not something that I do a lot of adjustments with, because the whole point is you want man-to-man coverage, right? So say we check into 4 verticals, right? This is 4 verticals. Okay, one thing we know about 4 verticals is if we just let this play run, I'm going to put myself in alignment and do nothing. If we let this play run, you'll watch Marshawn Lynch get wide open, no matter what. He's just going to be open. End of story. Something to do with the cut on that route means Marshawn Lynch will beat man. I hate that's the way it is, but that's the way it is, right? And I'll even show you. I'll go and put, so there's Verts. I'm going to take and find DRC, right? Dominic Raj-Camardi. Really, really good man coverage, right? And man him up on Marshawn Lynch, right? Manned up on Marshawn Lynch, okay? I'm going to take Jonathan Casillas and man him up on Crabtree, okay? So now we've got Marshawn Lynch, who is not a good route running halfback, manned up by a very good man corner in DRC. And he'll still get open. Ready? Wide the fuck open. Doesn't matter. It sucks. I agree with you. It sucks. But if I were to combat this, right? Oh, wrong flip. Didn't want to do that. Wrong controller, because I'm using 2. So if I were to combat this, right? A hard flat might be effective. It will be effective. That's the read. You put the guy in a hard flat. Or you put a guy in a hard flat, right? So now I've got this linebacker here who's supposed to be blitzing. He's a 4th man blitz. And the reason that you run it this way is because this blitzer hits this gap, which is where Lynch will go on a run, right? So you want this blitzer to be opposite of Marshawn Lynch because unless he runs a counter out of shotgun, which almost never happens, he'll be covered, which is just how, like, it will get stopped, which is just how it'll work. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that guy and put him in a hard flat to stop this crazy Marshawn Lynch route, right? Well, most people, so say I was using this safety up here. I was using Landon Collins, right? Most people would come down, click over, click onto Jonathan Casillas, hit X, then hit left on the left stick, and now you've got your hard flat, right? Well, there's a way easier way of doing it that doesn't, so if you do this, right, and then they snap the ball, now you're controlling this hard flat, right? So you have to make sure that you get there, okay? And sometimes that's pretty hard. The easier way to do it, right? So I'm going to flip this again, call 4 verticals, right? So we've got that Lynch route. The easier way to do it is you've got Landon Collins out here, right? Now, all the position groups have shortcuts to open up the players. So ready, watch. I'm going to hit L1, L1, and that brings up square, triangle, X. Now that's the defensive line. You got square left, triangle middle, X right. Easy enough, right? So now we're going to hit R2 to cancel that. What if I hit R1, R1? Well, that's my linebackers. You've got Jonathan Casillas and Goodson. And then for the secondary, it's triangle, triangle. So L1, R1, triangle. Right? So triangle, triangle opens up all your secondary. So say I wanted to put Casillas in a hard flat, but I didn't want to come off of Landon Collins because this is who I'm using on this play. I'm going to go R1, R1, square, and that brings up the same menu as if I were to manually move over and click Casillas, right? So you saw that menu, now you see this menu. And that's just me hitting X while controlling the guy. So what I'm going to do is R1, R1, square, and that brings it up, and it's way faster than moving your player selector over to Casillas and doing that, and then you put out a hard flat, right? So now I've got a hard flat, and Marshawn Lynch will be blanketed, right? So I'm going to drop back, right? He's open on this cut here, and if you can get it there, you can get it there, but then you wait, and then picked off. And Casillas takes it to the house. Right? So, making adjustments may seem daunting, but you just need to know where you're going and how you're doing it. Right? So, another more simple one is if you were to go, I'm going to audible into cover 2, because cover 2 is great defense this year in Madden. Now I'm going to audible into, I hope I have it, I have PA double post. Cool. Alright, so PA double post. Now, the weakness of cover 2 is, if you look, see where Crabtree's going? How this is going to work is if you take Crabtree and you take Cooper, Cooper is going to occupy the free safety, and Crabtree is going to be wide open over the middle. The one issue with that is if you see where Smith is running, Smith will probably be over the middle at the same time that Crabtree is. So what do? If I'm on offense, I'm going to take Smith, and I'm going to put him in, if I use the right controller, I'm going to put him in a streak. So what that does is this streak and post and corner, it'll clear out that whole vacated spot in the middle. So see where I'm standing here with Casillas, or this might not even be Casillas. But if you see where I'm standing, this area right here, where that mid-read zone is, right behind it is going to be wide open. Wide open. So here, I'm going to run the play for you. I'm going to move my guy out of the way and show you. Snap, handoff, post, wide open. And that was Cooper that got it there. That wasn't even Crabtree that was open. That was Cooper. So cover 2 in general is just weak 2 post routes, and that's my phone going off, but I don't ever answer my home phone. So it's not something that needs to matter. So we're going to move Smith, get him out of there, and watch. As Crabtree goes over the middle, the triangle goes over the middle, he's open. He was covered, but what's happening is these vertical hooks on the outside are matching up with the vertical routes. Normally this doesn't happen. It has a lot to do with how good the players are in coverage. But you also normally wouldn't be in dollar going up against this formation. So if I bring you guys back out and show you, if I go back to that exact same play, or a play very similar to it, I'm going to go to a different one because it works a little bit better. The wheel post drag, I don't have to audible anything there, and that post will get open. Then we go into, we have to be in 4-3, 3-4, 4-4, 4-6, or 5-2. So I go into 3-4, go into Tampa 2. We've got Casillas on his little hook, right? And that, so this is how it'll be set up. And if you look at the space between those safeties, that's still what we're targeting, right? So again, I'm going to do the same thing with Smith, clear him out of the middle, right? So we're looking for that space that Cooper is targeting, okay? That space in the middle of the field. So I'm going to do, put myself on Harrison, and just show you how it'll react. Snap of the ball, wide open. No one near him. Absolutely no one near him. So how do you stop that? Well, on defense, normally, I would user this backside vertical hook, right? Because I can go ahead and cover most of the field on this hook right here. Most of this interior of the field. So what I would do is I would go R1, R1, triangle, which will select your middle linebacker. And for those of you who don't know, it's always going to be set up the same way. So if I'm on Collins, right? R1, R1. Square is your Will. Triangle is your Mike. Or X can be your Mike. But it'll always go left to right. Will, Mike, Sam, or Will, Mike, Mike, Sam. Either way. Which is left outside linebacker, middle 1, middle 2, right outside linebacker. Or opposite. Right, middle, left. But it'll go left to right from the screen's orientation. But we'll go R1, R1 triangle. And you see where it says middle third? So what that'll do is it'll drop a true Tampa 2. Which is how, closest to a true Tampa 2 that we can get. Which is how the Bucks used to play it. Where Derek Brooks would just bomb over the middle of the field and stop all that stuff. So now if we watch, we do the same thing, right? I want this. Okay. So if I do the same thing, get myself off that linebacker, what you'll see is that Cooper's no longer open. Ready? Look. Throwing it right to Cooper. Guess who's right there? And all it takes is just a little bit of knowing how people are going to try and beat your defense and where you're weak, right? So if I do the same thing, right? Get the right controller and do the same thing. And get Smith open, like that. Put Cooper where Cooper needs to be. And then on defense, I'm going to take Munson, put him in this middle third, right? What I would do then as a user is On this play, there's actually no one going over the middle aside from Cooper. So what I would do is snap of the ball. I'm following X, then I'm dropping down to R1, right? And then I have to keep moving. It's all about reading who's open and where they're open in your responsibility. Now, if you're using the D line, you can't do any of that, right? So if I do the same thing, and Smith, Cooper, and then middle third, right? If I'm using the D line, all right, Marshawn's open, Marshawn's still open. I can't get through right now. Now I've finally gotten through, and I still can't get the sack. And now I get the sack. But if I'm using the D line, I can't get there, right? And especially if we don't have the guy running over the middle, right? If we leave this guy running over the middle like that, right? Still not through, X is open, R1's open, and now we get a sack. You have no way of defending everything. It just can't happen. Whereas if we've got user on the field, right? And then you have, okay, I don't know why it's doing that for me, but that's cool. I'll take a really weird scramble that I didn't mean to set up. But if you have your user in the middle of the field, right, on a linebacker, and they call this play, look, okay, he's covered, he's open. Now R1's open, but they have a lot less time to think about it, right? And you have to make them make reads. So the reads on this play, just against standard cover 2, right? Which is what I see. 2 high safeties, 2 low corners, standard cover 2. I'm going to read, drop back, X. Now R1, now square. So if you guys saw, I'm going through my progressions against this defense, right? So I'm looking, dropping back. X is open. Hit X. That's my first read every single time. Every single time it's my first read. Okay? Now say, for instance, you wanted to make sure X wasn't open. All right, fine. Good. Here's my next read. Okay, dropping back. X is not open. X is not open. X is not open. R1's open. All right? So that was my next read. Cool. All right, so now say the defense wanted to make sure that both of them were covered, right? So let's get R1, R1 triangle up, which is man coverage X, so that Smith is covered. And now say I wanted to go, I knew Marshawn was going to be open, right? So I'm going to go triangle, triangle, circle, and hard flat, right? Because that'll take away the Lynch route. Okay, so what do we got next? Dropping back to pass, dropping back to pass. All right, Lynch isn't open. Oh, but circle's open. So you have to read the defense on every single play. And that's all pre-snap read. So if they come out in this look, I know they're in cover 2. Okay, if they come out in this look, cover 2 man, I know they're in man. There's no corners off on the right-hand side. If they come out in this look, cover 3 sky, single high safety with a corner off to the right, I know they're in cover 3. If they come out in this look here, no deep safeties, I know they're in cover 0. And it's all about reading and, you know, so cover 3, let me see, do I have a cover 4 in here somewhere? Maybe. All right, so I don't have a cover 4 in there to show you. But you guys see the point where I have to go through. So against this cover 0, my first look would be to X because he's on a man-beating route. And sometimes the play's not designed to go against cover 0, right? So this is cover 0, okay? Pinch buck 0. So I know this is cover 0. And I know they're sending cover 0 blitz. And I know that I don't have enough blockers, okay? Because they're sending 6, and I'm only blocking 5. So someone's going to come free. So the first thing I'd do is... Oh, wrong controller. First thing I'd do, come on, R1, and I'd block the halfback, right? Makes the most sense. Now we've got 6 guys on 6 guys. What's the next thing I'd do? I'd put Cook on an out, right? Cook's on an out. I'd put Crabtree on a slant. Okay, so now this play looks completely different And that's all me reacting to what I see on the defense. Cover 0. Great. Okay, so now I drop back to pass. Circle's open. Ball out of my hands. Circle's open. Okay, we do the same thing again. There's another way I can look at it, right? So if we're going to go cover 0, pinch buck 0, right? I see that it's man, right? Safety walk down. Everyone's lined up. Okay, so I'm going to block Marshawn. I'm going to block Smith. I'm going to drag Crabtree. I'm going to drag Cook. Okay, so now I'm blocking 7 against this rush of 6. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hopefully get some time in the pocket here and then hit Cooper over the middle. Now, Janoris Jenkins is a very good man corner, so he's going to stick right with Cooper. But because I knew there was no one in the deep middle, there was no deep safety, I couldn't set up to have only 3 routes and still win that. So it's all about just read and react. I know a lot of people are hesitant to do these kind of things because once you start messing with your defense, right, it's not always easy. Sometimes you screw up, right? So if I think they're in that same post play, right, but they're actually in 4 verticals, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this R1 middle zone, right, like that. I'm going to have Goodson. I'm going to be usering. And I told you where I was going to go each time, right? So snap the ball, drop into X, drop into X. Oh, R1's wide open. X is wide open. Great. Now what do I do? Okay? So it's all a chess game, right? If I think I know what you're running based on my film study, and you think you know what I'm running based on your film study, and you change something, then I have to change something, and then we have to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and that's what makes this game so good. It's not, I call one play, come to the line, you call one play, come to the line, smash our heads together, and do the best we can. That's not how football works. It's never how football works. But I just wanted to show you guys a couple things on defense that can help you. So, again, R1 is the linebackers. L1 is the linemen. Triangle is the DBs. And then each different player, based on their position, has different hot routes that they can do. So we go triangle. It's my free safety. He's got all those assignments. Alright, now if I do triangle, square, he's got a completely different set of assignments because he is a corner and not a safety. Then if I go triangle, circle, he's got the same assignments as the guy on the other side because they're both outside corners. But then if we look to our linebackers, right? R1, triangle. He's got his set with the middle third, the hook curl, the curl flat, and the middle read. But then if I go R1, X, he's also got them. But if he lines up over here, all right, there's eventually a point where he doesn't have it anymore. Either way, he'll end up with outside linebacker stats just because of outside linebacker adjustments because of where he lined up. But the outside linebackers have different things that they can do compared to a middle linebacker. Defensive ends have different things that they can do from a defensive lineman. Defensive linemen can't do all the same things. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys watch this and feel a little bit better about making adjustments on defense and changing things. And hopefully you guys become a little bit, more confident in yourselves and your defense and what you can run and what you can do. And that was a great play by Crabtree. I almost dropped it. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you all next time. Thank you.